Hello, I'm Gladys Branche, and I'm coming from West Africa, to be specific, Sierra Leone. I happen to work with the trade unions, and I am the gender officer for the Sierra Leone Labour Congress, and I'm a tutelar member of the ITUC, which is the International Trades Union Confederation in Africa, and the African body also is attached to the world's body, where we have our office in Brussels. And I also happen to be a member of the General Council. And I'm delighted to be here to join others around the world to look at the issue of global democracy. As a trade union, our issues have been giving voice to the voiceless. And we have been speaking around the issue of democracy. Therefore, it is very necessary and timely for me to be here to network with other progressive groups that are dealing with the issue of democracy. In a whole, the word democracy has been a challenging phenomenon because it is interpreted in different ways. There are times we see the issue of democracy interpreted just on paperwork. It is not practicalized, and therefore it affects the people around the world. We do see the issue of democracy being played in the hands of those who have the powers, and the marginalized group are in the majority. They couldn't have the voice to the issues that is dealing with their own lives and activities. And therefore the issue of democracy is one that needs to be revisited. It is one that needs to be interpreted in a more clear definition. When we talk about the global democracy, it is interesting and it is necessary for us to even look at issues that we can talk about in a global term before we are able to move forward in the global world. Issues like migration is a global issue, and it is never seen in a democratic way because those who migrate suffer a lot in the hands of other people. They do migrate because of reasons, because of war, because of jobs. They migrate with their potential. They help to build other national centers with their sense of ability, their duty to call for work. The country they're coming from is like my brain drain, but once they are migrants, workers in those countries where they have moved into, they've been marginalized. They do not have voice, even though they contribute to the socio-economic powers of that nation. We talk about the most recent challenging issue. That's the issue of climate change. It is a global issue, and it is an issue that needs to have the voice of the voiceless. Because when you talk about the least developing countries, they do not emit carbon in the air in a greater way as those that have the powers in their hands. But when you go to the Conference of Parties, which we normally refer to as COP, those people do not have voice. The United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change have been fighting for over 16 years to sign a treaty that will govern the issue of climate change. But when you go to the meetings, it is only the rich, it is only the wealthiest nations that takes the decisions. Others are out of the plenary session. They are not even allowed to go into the decision-making body. Where the issues, where the decision is taken, they are not allowed to go in. These are closed-door meetings. And at the end of the day, we talk about democracy. So the issue of democracy needs to be revisited. We need to have a new face, a new jargon to combat the issue of democracy. And therefore, as a trade unionist in this meeting, it is good that we build alliance, as I said earlier on, with other progressive groups, so that we could firstly identify the challenges around globalization, identify common goals that we can struggle with, identify a better platform that we could use to make our voices heard. We need also to put in place the issue of inclusion, not only of the marginalized group, but also the issue of our thoughts into the issue of democracy. And I'm very happy to be here, and I want to say that trade unions around the world, we must welcome the partnership with the global global group for democracy, and to work together to find a common ground where the excluded would be included into the issue of global democracy. Thank you for listening.